In this video, we're going to be taking a look at building our tabletop champagne wall. We're going to be doing this almost entirely of fence pickets. We do have a few pieces of 2x blocking in the base that we will show you when we get to. We do have plans available for this project at $5plans.com, and of course they're just $5 for this set of plans. I don't know that you necessarily need a set of plans. This is pretty straightforward stuff. You might find having a set of plans to be helpful though. But I am going to walk you through all the dimensions and exactly everything we need for this project. Yeah, again, it's a pretty straightforward little project. If you're interested in our plans, we give away 10 sets of plans first thing every morning. So if you like a particular project and you want a free set of plans, all you have to do is like and subscribe. And then in the description or in the comment section of our whatever video that you want plans for, just leave us a comment with your email address. And every morning we give out 10 free sets of plans every morning. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the parts that we're going to need for this project. This project collectively takes approximately 10 fence pickets. These fence pickets are $2.20 a piece. Takes 10 of them. So pretty economical little project, about $20, $30 total, and you could build one of these, but they sell pretty good at that $150 price point. That's what I sell them for. I also rent them out as well. So if you're looking to have a product to buy and sell, this is a good product because it's simple to put together, and it is economical to build, and you can get a pretty decent price point for it as well. All right, so let's talk about what we've got going on so far. So what I've done is we have 8 pieces that we've cut down to 28.5 inches, the full width of our fence picket, which is 5.5. And then we have 3 pieces that are also 28.5 inches, and we've ripped them down to 4 inches wide. And then we have 2 pieces that are 41 inches, and of course they're the full fence picket width of 5.5. Now, there are a few additional pieces that we're going to need. We're going to need some pieces that make up the base of our unit, and then we're going to need some cleating material, and I'll explain what that is here momentarily. So what I would do is take one fence picket and rip it 2.5 inches wide, the full length of the fence picket, and that will give us way more than we probably need. Now, if you have extra fence pickets from other projects like I do, then you can use scraps for the cleats. Again, I'll explain that here momentarily. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put 7 of these together. Now I am going to go through real quick and just kind of knock off all the burrs and things with the sander. So I'm going to do that real quick to all the boards. And then we're going to take 7 of these and put them together with a cleat. Okay, so let me get everything sanded up. I'll get those 7 pieces laid out. I'll get my cleat material cut, and I'll show you how we're going to put that together. So we have our 7 pieces of fence picket that are 28.5 inches long. We've got our cleats that are 2.5 inches wide. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here with some wood glue, and we're going to use some 1-inch staples to hold our cleat in place. Then we'll come back in and put a couple of screws per board just to make that nice and solid. We're going to do that on both sides. Of course, our cleat's going to be flush to the outside edge here. So we're going to do that to both sides. I'll go ahead and get that done. And then we'll have our whole back panel. Okay, so here is our back panel. You can see we have our 1-inch deck screws, a couple of staples, some wood glue, and now we have our back panel finished. Now, if you look here at the side, you see how nice and flush that is? I cheat, and this is one tool I never thought I would really ever use, but ever since I've had it, it's really been very handy. So this is a cordless Ryobi planer, And I just go along that edge and flush everything up real nice. And it just does a real nice job of doing that. You can see it's perfectly clean and perfect along that edge. So if you've got a little extra money, and they're not terribly expensive, I think like $80, something like that, less than $100, I think. Anyhow, it's a very useful tool. So definitely one to have in your arsenal if you've got a little extra money. Not a necessity, but definitely useful nonetheless. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put on our two sides, and then we're going to put on our top as well and connect our two sides to our top. And we're going to be using 1¼ staples to do that, and I will probably reinforce those with a couple of screws as well, I think. So let me go ahead and do that. So our two sides are 41 inches, and of course our top will be the 28.5. So this is what our backdrop looks like at the moment. And so we have our two sides on. You can see I've just got a few staples. I did use wood glue all along the bottom edge, and I put a staple basically at every joint of the board. And one tip I have for you is to take your flathead screwdriver, and this is just a wet rag, and just scrape that corner, and that will clean up the glue really good and get nice and tight to those corners. Get as much glue cleaned up as you can. Now we are going to stain this unit, so anyhow, and this backdrop can be used for a variety of projects. So we could make our pieces that go in here. We could make those so you could swap them out so they're removable. And we may do that on this one. So we could use this backdrop in a variety of different ways, because we have a set of plans that use the same backdrop, but it's to hold donuts for a donut wall, and a couple other options too. So we may go ahead and make our pieces that hold the wine glasses. We might make those so they could be interchangeable. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So for right now, we're going to set this aside, and then we're going to work on our base. Now the plans you get will tell you that this dimension is 29 from the outside edge to the outside edge is 29.75. I have not measured this one to know exactly what the dimension is, but I would suggest before we go and cut our baseboards that we get this exact dimension. And whatever that is, we need two of them that are that width. So let me find out what that width is, and then we'll move on to how we go about building the base unit for this. All right, so we've got our boards for our base, and it did actually work out that our cabinet over there is exactly 29.75. So that is according to plans, but there is variation of the thickness of these boards. So just be mindful. We're gonna measure the base of our cabinet from the outside to the outside, and we're gonna cut two boards, whatever that dimension is. It did work out where mine's 29.75. And now we have these that are 2.5 inches thick, and these are also 29.75, just so happens. So whatever these are, these should be as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to build a little box, if you will, where we've got two of these 8.75 that are going to make up our ends, and then this is going to go right here at our end, one in the middle, one down here, and that will make up our base. Okay, so let me go ahead and just put that together. We are going to use wood glue. We are going to use 1¼ staples, and we are going to use probably a few 1-inch screws as well. So let me go ahead and put that together, and I'll kind of show you what it looks like. All right, so let's go over our parts again. This is what our base is supposed to look like. 2.5 inches wide, 29.75 long, is what we did. 8 3/4 deep. So our 2x3s here are also 8 3/4. And we put in a couple of staples. We use wood glue here. We use wood glue on the side of our 2x3. A couple of staples from the side. So we're using 1 1/4 staples all the way around. Okay. And so we put in the 2x3 blocking just to give us some extra meat. We're going to need that when we connect this to the top. So we're going to connect these two pieces. It's going to be helpful for us to have something that we can screw into and make a nice secure connection there. Okay, so now all we have to do, these panels will just sit on top, and of course they'll be flush left to right. So they'll be flush, and they're going to stick out a 1/2 inch front and back. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and put some wood glue all the way around, and then we'll go ahead and staple those two boards on top, and then our base will be complete. All right, there is our completed base, and you can kind of see what our staple pattern is. 3 along the edge there, and then we've got a couple here in the middle, and then again 3 on each board along the edge. And again, it's all glued down, so the staples will hold it till the glue dries. That's the idea anyhow. And there is the completed base. So now, in order to attach our top to our base, we need 2 pieces that are 30 inches long, and then we're going to rip them to a 4-inch width. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we will come back and show you how we're going to connect the 2 pieces. Okay, so there is the completed backdrop, if you will. It's secured to the base. The backdrop itself is done. So what did we do? We took 2 pieces that are 30 inches. I put a 30-degree bevel on there, 4 inches wide. You could leave it the 5.5, but I thought that extra little step back looked kind of nice. And so I secured it with a few staples and some wood glue, and then came back with some 1-inch deck screws there. Okay, same thing on this side, and that secures it very well to the bottom. Now we have, and I just kind of thought about this because we have that 1.5 inch blocking. So the 2 screws here, I'll probably switch those out for like some 2.5 inch screws. Because that will poke through slightly, but it'll be underneath in the base, so it won't really matter. I might take a grinder and just nip them off, but probably we'll replace these with 2.5 so they go into that piece of blocking. So it'll be really nice and secure. All right. So what I decided to do is on our shelves, I did decide to go ahead and make those so we could take them out. So so we could use this for all kinds of different, we could put some shelves in here if we're want to use it for a display, like at a flea market or something. Our donut wall has dowel rods where we can put donuts, so we could make an insert for that. All kinds of different things that we could use this backdrop for. So I am going to set up our champagne shelves that hold the champagne glasses. I'm going to set those up where we can take them out and put them in. Okay. So I will go ahead and figure out exactly how I think I'm going to do that. I am a little bit pressed for time because I have somebody coming to pick this unit up. So I am a little bit pressed for time, but so I'll have to figure this out kind of on the fly, and this will be somewhat temporary. So let me go ahead and figure out exactly what we're going to do, and then I'll come back and show you what we're going to do. Okay, so I figured it out, decided what we're going to do. So just to kind of recap, our backboard here is 28.5. Okay, and so what I've done here at that bottom 5.5-inch board. I put in this little cleat, then I skipped one cleat, skipped one, and we have a cleat. Okay, so now our champagne glass holders are just going to sit just like that. Okay, now they're not literally going to sit in there. What we're going to do is we're going to put in like a little L-shaped cleat, and then we'll screw it to the back wall so it won't slide out. But we just undo 2 screws and that'll pop right back out, and we can do something different. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to do, and that will serve its purpose. So what I decided to do here is we've come in 3 inches on the end, and then we have 4.5-inch spacing. Then we have 3 inches. These are 28 3/8. And so what I did is I came in from the front edge, 1 3/4 inches, and put a little mark. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill an 1.5-inch circle using one of my bits here. These are really good bits. They do a real good job. Give us a nice clean hole. But we'll do that. I've got all my boards marked, so we'll put in all of our holes in each board. What I'll do is I'll drill part way through, flip it over, and then you see how this kind of sticks out. So I'll drill far enough through where that sticks out on the back side, and then go ahead and clean up the holes on the back side so we don't have a bunch of blowout on the back end. So I'm going to do that to all my boards, and then we'll use a jigsaw to cut in a little slot for the stem of our champagne glass. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that done, and then we'll talk about this little cleat that we're going to add to the back. Okay, so now we have all of our holes located, 1.5 inches, and then we have all of our slots for our stemware. And so what I decided to do is go ahead and take these 1.25 inch cleats, and we're going to use a little bit of wood glue and some staples and staple this cleat on. And then I'll have a place to run a couple of 1-inch screws to hold our shelf into place against this back wall, but still be able to take it out really easily if I want to use this wall for something else. So we're going to go ahead and do all 3 shelves the same way with this little cleat, and then we can go ahead and put those shelves in place. So there is our finished champagne wall. We've got our shelves in place. You can see, can't really see that cleat very well. It kind of blends in, but you can see I have just 1 screw sitting there holding those glasses in. So it holds 18 glasses of the bubbly. So that's it for this project. I hope you enjoyed this one. And again, please do like and subscribe, share with your other woodworking friends. And if you're interested in this plan, of course, it is available for $5 at $5plans.com. But again, just a reminder, if you just comment below with your email address, we do send out free sets of plans every single day. We just pick 10 people at random from the comments section and send them their plan of choice. So feel free to comment as often as you like on any of the videos, because you never know. We're just going to go through and pick some random people to give these plans away to. So again, thanks for watching, and please do take a look at our other projects on the channel.